Good morning, everyone. Hello. Can somebody confirm is my audio fine?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So today we'll have a last topic in our branch and bound. Yesterday we discussed least cost branch and bound. Today we'll discuss FIFO branch and bound. So practically you don't really use that much FIFO because you end up doing more computations, but as being part of the syllabus, so I should cover that. So we'll basically follow the same example as yesterday. We'll take a knapsack problem, and though yesterday we look at least cost branch and bound, today we look at the same problem and see how does we do FIFO first in first out branch and bound solution. The only difference from solution yesterday versus what we'll discuss today is when we explore a node, which node we pick up. Previously, in least cost, we were always picking a node which could give us least cost, but today we'll pick up that node which was added to the queue first. And that's the only difference. And again, the textbook material is from Horowitz section 8.2, and Levitt talked about general, but it doesn't talk about least cost branch and bound. So this material is primarily from Horowitz and Sahani. So what's the knapsack problem? Knapsack problem is you're given n items. Each item has its own value vi, and each item has a weight wi. And your knapsack or a bag has a capacity m, and you like to fill up your bag with items. And we call it 0 1 knapsack, meaning either we take the item in full or don't take it. We can't take item in parts. Just said yesterday, if I'm packing my suitcase, my items are my dresses. So either I take my shirt in full, I don't take it cut into half, and I'll take only the collar or the pocket. I have to take in full. So there is nothing called partial knapsack. So either we take item in full or we don't take the item, subject to the capacity that I cannot exceed the capacity of the suitcase, which is M. And what we want to achieve is maximize the value of items that we are putting in the knapsack. And that essentially is what we are doing and discussing. So, and when you say subject to VI XI, XI if 0 means we are not picking the ith item. If XI is 1, that means we are picking the ith item. And that is what basically it means. Now weights are integers, values, and the values are integers, but sorry, value need not be integer, but weights are integer. Real number matching would be a real challenge. So we know that our knapsack is a maximization problem. Why maximization? Because we are trying to maximize the value or the profit what is associated. But we also know that the branch and bound that we have discussed is basically minimization problem. Branch and bound the minimization problem, whereas knapsack is maximization problem. So how do we convert this maximization problem into minimization? Anyone like to say? We discussed yesterday converting maximization to minimization. Amravati, Arvind, this given problem of maximization that we want to maximize this value, how do we convert this into minimization problem? Anyone like to answer? Aswini? So let me say I'll give you some items. I'll give you 2, 6, 21, 5, 7, 10. And I ask you to put maximum element. So maximum element is going to be 21. Let me write it again. Yeah. So maximum item is going to 21, but you want to convert into minimization problem. How do you convert into minimization problem? And then we can achieve the maximization.
Consider the negative values
Consider
for
the
all
negative
those.
values, absolutely, Yasmin. So if you take everything as negative value, say -2, -6, -21, -5, -7, -1, and if you take negative value, which is -21, and then put it back positive, if you take the negative values, this becomes minimization problem. And that's essentially what we do with our knapsack. So essentially convert maximization to minimization. That means change the values to negative, change the value to negative. We say minimize sum of Vi xi subject to the constraint that Wxi has to be less than. And that's what we'll basically do. And this is the problem we're going to solve because branch on one we've seen does that. So we'll basically again build a state space tree, and we discussed yesterday we build a tree, we start from the root node, and then we explore the node, some node 1, 2, 3, and then we explore further 4, let's say 5, this would be 6, 7, this would have a 8, 9 something. So when I'm exploring, how do I go? Do I go depth first search? Or do I go each children in the order? Or do I look at which are my least cost and explore only that? So three approaches. One is what is called FIFO, meaning it's basically breadth first first. So the moment we explore root, we will basically build a queue. So first goes to item number 1, and then we add item 2, then we item 3, and then we explore 1. We explore 1, remove it. So I get children 4. So I add 4, then add 5, and then I take next item in the queue, which is 2, then explore children of 2, which is 6. So basically, if you see what has happened, I'm going like this, and this is what is called a breadth first. So FIFO, and that's what we'll discuss. So what element is added to the queue first, they are taken out, and that is what is FIFO. Other approach is LIFO. LIFO is basically the stack that we go. So if I do R, if I go to R1, then 4, 4 to next one, and then keep backtracking. And that is the approach we did in backtracking. That was basically DFS. And yesterday what we discussed was least cost branch and bound, where we basically pick among all the items which what we have explored, look at the item with the minimum cost. And how do we pick minimum item? We studied priority queues, and we said, so if we build a mini heap, we always can find first element in order 1, remove that, and keep adding, and that is what least cost. So yesterday we looked at least cost branch and bound, and today we'll look at least cost FIFO branch and bound. Answer would be the same in both the cases, but what would happen is in FIFO we'll probably do more computation compared to least cost. So let's look at our basic problem. Again, as you said, we can't know the least cost because if you know, we got the answer. So we build a heuristic, estimate the cost function, and we say estimate the cost function such that you can compute without exploring the entire subtree. So my estimation of Cx cannot be my exponential. What we say is we start building an estimate, and we discussed yesterday, we follow the same thing. And then we also define an upper bound. That means if we follow this path, at least this is the maximum cost I can achieve. So I need to go down less than that, but I cannot achieve cost more than that. So we maintain the upper bound. What is the maximum cost I can achieve if I explore that node? We could do lower, but I cannot exceed more than this. We build that, and we maintain one variable for what we call upper, which basically indicates the overall limit for my entire tree. So Ux is upper bound for given node or subchildren of this. Upper is lower bound for the entire tree, and we have said that we need to follow the estimated cost should be less than this actual cost, which should be less than the upper limit. And the moment we find that my estimated cost, if it becomes greater than upper, that means upper means this already gives me a solution which I can receive, and this cost is becoming more than the upper, so there is no point exploring it, and so we basically stop searching that part. That what we'll do is we'll maintain those three variables and we'll look at what we want to do. So essentially we'll take the example there as you take yesterday, 4 nodes, 4 items, each having a value of 10, 10, 12, and 18. Knapsack capacity is 15, and the respective weights are 2, 4, 6, and 9. To get a better estimate on our upper bound, we sort the item in the ratio of VI divided by weight I, that is value per unit of weight, so that I can do my estimations in a much easier way. That will sort it out. So this is the case. You see, first item value by weight is 5, for second item it is 2.5, for third item it is 2, and fourth item it is 2. So basically arrange the items in what is called non-increasing order, or you can say descending order. And that's what we look at that, and we will do fixed implementation. That means for each item we'll define a variable 1, x1 for item 1, x2 for item 2, x3 for item 3, and x4 for item 4. And value can be either 0 or 1. 0 meaning we don't include the item, 1 means we include the item. And that is what we'll basically use to build our FIFO approach. First in, first out means among the live node, we explore the node and then add to the queue, and we pick that node which was first added to the queue, and that's what we'll basically look at. And we'll not pick the least cost, but we'll see when you explore the entire tree, you will still get the same solution as we got with least cost. So benefit of FIFO is that when I pick up the min cost item, this I can do in order one time. Whereas if I were to put my least cost item, this would require min heap. So each time I pick an item, the moment I remove the item, I need to do the heap adjustment, and that becomes log n time. In FIFO, picking up adding is order one time. When I do a least cost, my removing and adding is log n time. So somewhere I pay the cost, but least cost happens to be better because I do explore much lower number of nodes, but in FIFO I'll be exploring larger number of nodes. So let's look at how do we go about. We start with the root node and we define our CX function as including those items up to contribute fully, and last item which exceed the knapsack take the weight as partial. So look at my knapsack capacity is 15, so 2 plus 4 becomes 6, plus 6 makes it 12. So that means if I include 9, weight becomes 21. So I can only include up to weight 3. If I include only up to 3, so what is the value when I take 3? It will be 3 by 9 into 18, which is 6. So my estimated cost becomes 10 full, 10 full, 12 full, and 6 out of this. So it becomes 10 plus 10 plus 12 plus 6. This gives me 6. And so my value becomes minus 38. And we say UX, the upper limit, we don't include the last item because that's the upper limit will reach, and this would be, we take item in full, which is 2, 4, 6, which becomes 12, 9 exceeds the knapsack because it becomes 21, so we don't take the value because that's my upper limit. I don't know whether I'm going to include this or not, so I know certainly that this is going to be my upper limit. I cannot exceed the cost. Remember, this is a negative, so if I don't include this, this becomes minus 32 because I'm not including this. When I remove negative values, my value becomes higher. So my UX is always higher than the CX. You will always find UX is going to be greater than or equal to my estimated cost. And that is what we do when we explore the root node. We find the values. This value becomes minus 32, and we assign that. Since this is the first node, we assign the value upper also as whatever I get the ux for this node, and say upper is 32. Now this is the only node. We explore this node, and when we explore this node, we look at exploring means I'll basically either say x1 is equal to 1 means this item is always included, or x1 is equal to 0 means this item is not included. And these are the two nodes I'll get. I'll get node 2, I'll get node 3, and then we compute again c hat x and ux for this. We'll compute c hat, which is estimated cost, and ux for this, and follow in the process. So x1 include the weight 1, x1 0 means exclude w1, and let's see how do we proceed with this. So as I said, when I include x1, I go to node 2. When I exclude x1, I go to node 3. And let's calculate what is the cx and c at x and ux is. When I include item 2, we know that this is included. So this value is included. So now I start from there. So already I have a weight 2. Now when I include weight 2, second item, my weight becomes 6. When I include third item, weight becomes 12. When I include fourth item, my weight becomes 21, which exceeds my knapsack capacity, exceed capacity by 3, because my knapsack capacity is 15. So again, I'll take only 3 weight out of this fourth item. When I take 3 weight out of this, so 3 by 9 into 18, so value I get is only 6. So my C hat would be 10, which are already taken. 10 is already taken. 10 from here, this 10 from here, this 12 from here, and we'll take this 6 from here, and this still gives me minus 38. As you can normally see, anytime you go on the left side, when you explore, you will always find same value of the whatever upper node C hat and X hat would be. So always find the same value. So look at that part. So for node 2, so my C hat would be, as I said, this is already included because we already chosen this item. I will compute for rest one, 10 for second, 12 for this, and we take partial weight 3 for here, and that's the reason I get my weight for minus 38. My upper limit, I don't take this item because we are finding upper, we don't know whether this item is included or not, so don't include the last item. So my upper limit will remain 10 plus 10 plus 12, nothing more, and this gives me minus 32. So value remains minus 32. Now when I exclude this, can you tell me what is the item value? What would be C hat X and UX for this would be? Can you quickly spend time, 2 minutes, and tell me for node 3, what would be my CX, C hat X would be, and what would be my upper limit would be? Spend 2 minutes and compute quickly. Anyone like to answer? Answer is 30. No, that is not the right answer, Arvind. So sorry, yeah. Let's look at, that's not the really right answer. See, we are saying x1 is 0. Anybody else? Any other answers? When I exclude x1, what would my C hat X would be, and what would be my UX would be? 30 minus 32, that's right. So look at what is happening. We are excluding this item, so that means we don't take this weight. We start from here. So second item weight is 4 within my knapsack capacity. Second item weight is 6. So I had 6. My weight is 10. If I include third item with 9, weight becomes 19, which exceeds my capacity. That means I cannot include this item in full. So I am left with 5. So I include only 5 weight of this. When I include 5 weight of this, the value I'll get is 5 by 9 into 18, which is 10. So my value would be, if we look at 10 from here, 12 from here, and 10 from here. So 10 plus 12 plus 10, which becomes minus 32, and that is what my C at x would be, minus 32. And what would be my ux? Ux for this item 3. Ux for this item 3. Anyone? Bhuvna, Chandan, Dhruv? What would the value of ux for this item 3? We computed minus 32. Remember, ux we don't include the partial item. We only take the full item. Minus 22, that's right, because we're taking this item 10, we're taking this item, and we take the third or fourth item, it exceeds the weight, so it becomes minus 22. So my u at is minus 22. So look, this is minus 22, which is larger than the upper, so we maintain the upper, we don't change the upper. But the c hat is still, c hat still follows my upper, so that means we'll still at the node. So now my list of q becomes, if we look at both node 2 and node 3. So we add both of them, and so live node becomes both 2 and 3. If we look at these nodes, node 2 has the c hat of minus 38. That means if we explode this node, we are going to get a least cost of minus 38. But if I explode this node, I'll get a least cost of minus 32. So if you were to look at least cost approach, we would explore this node 2. But if we, even in the FIFO, because 2 was added first, so we'll explore 2. Even the least cost will explore 2. In both cases, we explore same thing. So let's explore 2, and that means 3 remains in the queue. So I'm exploring node 2, and my queue contains node 3 now. Now to include again, now I look at either I include x2 is equal to 1, or x2 is equal to 0, means either I include the second item, or x2 0 meaning I exclude the second item, and compute again both c hat x and ux. And remember, my q is still this 3. So we include this, so we'll get node 3, node 4, and node 5. And let's compute for node 4 c at x. As we said, if we explore on the left side, including these both values c at and ux, it does not change. They'll remain the same, because this includes adding item. When we computed this, we basically computed this by adding all the items. So we're following the same path. So look at for node 4, my c at x will remain minus 38, and u also remain 32. But for node 5, let's look at what happens for the node 5. Now can you compute and tell me what is the c hat x for node 5 would be? C hat x and ux for node 5. Any computations? Quickly compute and tell me what is C at X for node 5 and what is UX for the node 5. We are basically saying we are not including this item.
Minus 36.
Yes, that's right, minus 36, right answer. Can you explain why?
We are excluding the second item.
Yeah.
Then if we take the first and third item, then total capacity becomes 8, and the remaining capacity is 7. So we need to take 7 from the fourth item.
Right,
So
absolutely
7.
right. Yeah. So look, so we are taking the first item, weight 2. We are not taking second item, that is weight 0. Third item is weight 6. So total weight has become 8. My capacity is 15. So that means I need to take only 7 weight from here. When I take weight 7 from here, the value I get is 7 by 9 into 18, which is 14. So I get 14 value from the item 4. And what is the value I get? First item gives me value 10. Second are not included, get a value 0. Third item give me value 12. And fourth item gives me value 14. So this becomes 36. And since we are taking negative, it becomes minus 36. Absolutely fine. And this is what we basically get for C at X, becomes minus 36. And my U at, remember in this item we are anyway not considering, after computing U at, we don't take parcel, we don't take this either. So my U at becomes minus 22. So now you look at my C hat is minus 36. Minus 36 is less than minus 32. So haven't exceeded this. So that means this will still remain a live node and consider. So previously my live node was, if you look at 3, I got another live node, upper does not change. And since both 4 and 5 are live node, they'll be added to the queue now. And they become added to the queue 3, 4, 5. Now because I am doing FIFO, first in, first out, if it was a LIFO approach, I would have picked up this item because this has the minimum cost minus 38. But since I am doing FIFO, I will pick this item explore because this is added to the queue first. And that essentially what we do using FIFO, we pick node explore 3 and not 4, even though this gives me least cost. And that's the basic difference between FIFO and the LIFO. So when we explore this, we look at either I include third item when I explore node 3, again I look at, so what this indicate, node 3 means see, this path indicated we are not including this, and when I take the next path x2 0 means we are not including this either, and this what will give me node 7. And we find again compute the C at X for 6 and UX and C at for 6 and 7 and see which are applicable. So explore node 6 now, x2 is 1. Now can you tell me again, look, we are exploring on the left side. So you see this value will remain the same. So both C hat would be minus 32 and U hat would be minus 22. Can we explore node 7 and tell me what the values would be? For node 7, what would be my C hat X and what would be my UX? Remember this side we are indicating this node is excluded, this is also excluded. Dhananjay, Dhruv,
30.
what is the answer? Minus 30, yes. Answer is minus 30 because we take the first item weight of 6, second item weight of 9, this makes it 15. I'm within my capacity, so my value would be at 12 and 18, it becomes 30, so I get minus 30. And since there is no partial item, both C at x and ux would be minus 30. Now look what is happening. This C hat x is minus 30, which is greater than minus 32, which is my upper. That means if I follow this path, if I follow the path of node 7, I am going to exceed, going to have value higher than minus 32, and we already have a solution which gives minus 32, so there's no point exploring this, so we will not add node 7 to our queue. So we have to make sure we look at that part, and they said C at uppers, we kill this node, will not consider, so now my queue becomes, earlier my queue was, if you look at, we had a 3, 4, 5, we had taken the node 3 out, we have killed the node 7, so my queue becomes 4, 5, 6 get added, and 7 we basically killed. And in this queue, next item is number 4, so we explore with node number 4. Next node is E4, that's what we'll pick up and continue. So again, if I follow the left side, so one is I take third item, including third item, I include this third item, which is this side, or I exclude the third item, which is this side. So when I include the third item, so if you traverse left, my value doesn't change. So you'll see for C hat and U hat both will remain minus 38 and minus 32. But when I exclude the third item, node 9, when I exclude the third item, which is this side, what would be my C hat x and ux for node item C hat x and ux? Anyone? Dhruv, Faria, for my this node 9, what would be my C hat x and ux for this node 9? I would like you to make sure you understand this, because in internal I am going to ask a question very related to something of this kind.
Minus 38. Sir.
Minus 38 is Cx, absolutely right. And what about U at Ux? C8 is minus 38. What about Ux? Remember, we have to include the weight 2, 4, 6, and 9. There is no partial weight. So U hat also would be minus 38. Now look what is happening. This U is minus 38. Upper is minus 32. So far my U was always minus 32. Now we are saying U is also minus 38. So we know that if I follow this path, my upper limit is minus 38, which is less than this. So we update the upper limit here as well, and we set the upper limit to minus 38. And we basically, so what was my Q was? My Q was 4, 5, 6, and we get 8, 9. My Q was 4, 5, 6. I've added 8 and 9. Now you look what is happening. If you look at the nodes, upper is minus 38. Now look at the node 5. Node 5 gives me upper limit of 36. I mean upper bound of 36. That means if I explore node 5, I'm going to end up with cost minus 36. But I already have a solution with cost minus 38. So there is no point exploring it. So we kill this node. Node 6. If I explore this, I'll get my cost of minus 32, but I already have a solution tree which gives me minus 38, so we kill this node as well. And that means my cube would only remain, which was 5 and 6, both are remaining, so my cube contains only 8 and 9. And that is what we'll do to explore further. So we kill 5 and 6, because their cost is more than the upper, and then my Q is 8 and 9. 8 was added first, we explore 8 first. Unless we explore 8 first, meanings I'll get node 10 and 11. I include this. Now, what would be my C8 and UX would be here for node 10? Any thoughts?
Same. So
For
minus
node 10,
38.
see this node 10 indicates,
minus 38.
no, that's the catch. Node 10 indicates I'm included this, I included first item, second item, third item, and fourth item. That means my weight has become 21. So that means this solution is not even feasible because that exceeds my weight. I can consider it, but this solution is not even feasible. So there's no point computing C hat and UX. So we don't even compute because it's exceeding my capacity. And that's what basically we do. We don't even include this. For this, we can look at that and find the solution. Yes. Now look, if I say x4 is equal to 0, I can compute and find it out. I just said node 10 exceeds my capacity, so there's no point. Now look at node 11. Now what happens in node 11? If you look at node 11, my C hat would be minus 32 because it corresponds to this. I'm excluding this item, and my U also would be minus 32. I already have a solution with minus 38 upper limit, and node 11 gives me minus 32. This minus 32 is more than minus 38. Minus 32 is greater than minus 38. And I already have a solution minus 38. So that means there is no point considering this node, and we reject this node either. And thus, we explore this node also. And then next we need to explore is node 9. This node is killed. This is what we do. We kill these nodes. And then only left node is node 9. And we explore this node 9. When we explore this node 9, choices are either include node 4 or exclude node 4. x4 is equal to 1 or x4 is equal to 0. When x4 is equal to 1, that means I include this, include this, include this, include this, and x3 is equal to 0 says x3 is equal to 0 means we're not including this. Now when I include this, my value which you see, value would be minus 38, and x4 0 means I exclude this. When I compute for node 12, you'll find the value for node 12 is minus 38, and U hat would be minus 38, and I reach a leaf node. And when I already reach a leaf node, I find an answer. When I exclude this, I'm getting a less value. So node 12 basically gives me the right answer. But node 13 gives me minus 20, and minus 20 meaning it is more than my upper limit. So don't consider this. So that means we kill this node, don't go further, and this happens to be my right node. So that means my solution corresponds to this path. That basically means include this item, exclude this item, and include this item. So my value becomes basically I include item 1, W1, W2, and W4, and this gives us basically you can say x1 would 1, x2 is 1, x3 is 0, and x4 is 1, and my maximum value is minus 38. That is what we basically get. And that's the answer we primarily get, which is the answer node. So my answer happens to be minus 38, which is what I get. So node 12 is the answer node. The tuple is 1101. Include this, include this, include this, and exclude this. And knapsack cost is minus 38. So this is, and we know maximization value means change back negative to positive, I get 38, and that is what we'll basically look at. Hence, value we can get is 38. And this is basically same answer what we got, least cost branch bound approach. But what I happened in this case is, in least cost, we always explore least cost node. So our exploration was on this path, and we never explored these nodes. But here we end up exploring this and spending more time there. The difference is, while picking minimum node, we were maintaining a heap and adding to the queue and removing or taking log n time. But adding and removal is order 1. So depending on the problem, you choose whether you want to use FIFO approach or you want to use least cost BB approach. And that is what it is. That's what we've basically done. So essentially we looked at, for knapsack, we did look at FIFO branch and bound, and last class we look at LC branch and bound. And only thing is, in LC we do more computation. Here per node we do more computation per node. Here we do less computation per node, but we explore more number of nodes. And that's the trade-off we need to make. So with that, we are done with branch and bound. Now the only topic left is NP, P, NP, NP hard, and NP complete. So I need one more lecture, which probably will take after your IE exams. And so your syllabus for IA3 would be both module 4 and module 5. And since it is exam from home, it is again going to be application of algorithms. So given a problem, you apply the algorithm, build a solution, and that is how it's going to work out. And again, as before, answers are going to be individual, so copy paste is not going to work. So you have to look at your own unique answers and work it out. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, we can close the class and go on. You can always reach me even later if you have any doubt. At any point in time, reach me, send me an email. And let me repeat again, on the answer sheet, because this is the last class we are dealing with, to each of you, I send you meeting invite. It's a different meeting invite. For your section A, meeting invite is via Zoom. For section B, meeting invite via WebEx. So 2 different invite. I send an individual email. If anyone hasn't received, please let me know. And when you send the answer, please make sure that you send all the answers together and verify that it's not pending in mailbox. Because last time at least 5-6 people say, sir, mail was not delivered, it was lying in the queue, something happened. So we accepted the solutions even later, but this time we had a tough time. So please make sure you send answer within 20 minutes. And each answer I'm going to acknowledge received. If you don't get the acknowledgement within half an hour, then consider I haven't received the answer and continue from there. With that, have a good time, work out applications, apply the algorithm, solve things, take the example given, take a different value and solve it out. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, we can drop off.